Hi, it's David Chandler here, New South Wales Building Commissioner, and today I've got the opportunity to have a fireside chat with Steve Mann. He's the CEO of UDIA New South Wales, and one of the things we've identified is capability and developers really understanding the credentials you need to have to be in a modern construction industry.
Yeah.
Tell us why you think this learning module will help with that understanding.
Fundamentally, in that development process, you've got to own the whole process, don't you? You've got to own the team you put together. And then there's all sorts of skill sets that create a great product. However, the developer's got to take greater ownership and greater knowledge of that whole process. A good developer has dirty shoes. So what I'm saying there is get on site. You've got to know what's going on site. I saw 4 big challenges early on, David. One was potentially the price of change to the medium-sized developer. I saw concerns about design and construct, as you did, and I was worried that opportunity to share the risk would be lost. I was worried about sales off the plan. And I was worried about the customer. If we lose track, if any industry loses track of their customer, then you're not going to last, are you?
The RAB Act, for example, and we really started to get that focus back onto the developer makes the decisions, and you can make good decisions and bad decisions. What were your messages to your members? So
I think it was about, I put a task force together, and so I think they bought into the story that both they needed to grow and industry needed to change. We couldn't stand back and have different cohorts of industry playing a different game. We actually had to come together.
It's been a case of how do we mentor an understanding that there's good, bad and ugly, and we want great at the end, but we've got a journey to go on, haven't we?
One of your first steps was actually to introduce the OC 6 months before, and the fact that you were going to randomly audit a whole bunch of projects. But then similarly, the most important thing you did is that traffic light approach. So you might not be green, but you're orange, and we'll work with you to get to green.
So I think what we're seeing is the change is happening.
I think the big problems were in a small part of industry. There were a few areas that had become systemic. Waterproofing was one of those areas that you've gone as far as to look at the complexity of building a building these days, the systems in facades and the drop-in boxes from overseas and how all those things work together, and you're looking up and down that supply chain to get it right for the consumer and for the developer.
Yeah, we've been able to do a lot of things. It's interesting the focus we brought to actually getting women back into the industry and realising that we want a workplace that's actually friendly to women as well. If this project was all about just simply beating up the bad guys and leaving them crumpled up in a corner, it wasn't really going to tell the customers very much. So we've been on this journey together to in fact say, well, how do we actually identify the trustworthy players? And
you recognised that we both need to reward trusted developers, and I think introducing the ISET process has been part of that, which the banks have been able to rely on, so it's helping financing, which the customers will be able to rely on.
The rating of trusted players is in fact the beginning point where insurers are saying, well, you show me a cohort of people that we're prepared to insure, and then we'll become more enthusiastic about getting back into the sector.
The decennial liability insurance vision that you've got, a product that is in many countries overseas, but not here in Australia, because of the work we've done to step up industry and be able to communicate that to insurance, we're now attractive to that market.
Building learning modules is really something that most regulators haven't thought about doing in the past. I think we've done about 20 learning modules so far responding to requirements of the industry. We've had over 30,000 people subscribe to those learning modules, and over 67% have completed them. So what I'd urge everybody to do is to do this learning module, because it's really about what does it look like to be a trusted developer? What's it look like to be a resilient developer? And then what's it like to have a brand that customers are attracted to? So I really appreciate your support, Steve. It's been fantastic.
Excellent. Thanks, David.